Welcome all you Leos to your monthly reading for the month of May. And we have been looking at all the chakras for each month starting in January. So here we are, month number 5, and we're into the throat chakra. Thus all this beautiful blue, which is the color of the throat chakra. And so for this reading, we're going to just be asking how and where can I communicate more clearly? So we're going to be jumping into that, and we're going to start by pulling a card here from these Seeker Oracles and just see overall for the month of May what the Creator would like you to know around your communication. So get these shuffle. All right, so where can you communicate and how can you communicate more clearly for our beautiful Leos? All right. So here's your card, and you've got Weave Your Reality. So spider weaving your web, and we will take a look here and see what energies come with this card, give you clarification on that. So the spider comes to tell you that all is mind. All is as we perceive it to be. Our thoughts and beliefs shape our perception, which in turn shapes our relationship with the world. I love that. One of my favorite sayings that I've heard, and I can't remember who said it, but it's, we don't see the world as it is, we see the world as we are. So that's so perfect. And it affects how we behave and act as we move through our day. We live what we believe. What is the nature of your thoughts and beliefs? How do you see your life? In a positive, negative, or grounded and realistic manner? Is your life everything you wanted it to be? Or at the very least, is it a life that brings you more satisfaction and peace than it does pain and disappointment? Are you full of curiosity and wonder, or have you become cynical and closed off? Do you love your life and live it with passion? Or do you make your way from one day to the next doing what's necessary and nothing more? Has your perception been skewed by beliefs that are misinformed and no longer serve you? Has your journey been slowed by an emotional or psychological burden that you have carried for far too long? It's time to take an honest look at the web that is your life. If your web is tattered and torn but fulfills you, then mend and maintain it so it can weather any storm. If you don't like what you see, then weave something new. Weave a reality that gives you a reason to smile and that has real substance, because the strands that shape it serve a purpose and give your life meaning. Beautiful. So how and where can you communicate more clearly? I really think this is focusing in here on just digging into like the how you can communicate. It's becoming aware of what you truly want to perceive your life as. And it's really, I feel like this is a month of reflecting on the web that has been weaved over your past and see if you want to tear it down and create a new, different type of web. And of course, for some reason, Charlotte's Web, the book, and I believe it was also put into a cartoon movie, she would spell out like a word in her web for, was it Wilbur? Wilbur the pig? I can't remember now. But so Charlotte was the spider, and she would, so it's like, I feel like they're saying, what's the message in your web that you want to live? And when you look at the web and reflect on it during this month to see what has been weaved, you're like going to decide, is that what you want to continue? Or are you ready to just tear it down, let it go away, and then create a new one? And it's a beautiful new web. So I love that for you. Also, if you're new to my channel, what I do each month is I take a tarot deck and I split out the major arcana from the 4 suits of the minor arcana. And for this major arcana, it represents like this card here, where it's the overall energy for the month. And so we'll just give these a little shuffle here, and we will just see what else the creator has. All right, there we go. So for our Leos, what else would you like them to know? Okay, they want this one right here. Yep, and you have the devil. And don't be, scared by this at all, because this is kind of perfect from what we were talking about here. And it is very much, this is our shadow. This is our tour guide on this amusement park of fear rides that we're going through. And it's great that they're making themselves known, because this is all the stuff that's going on behind the scenes and in the subconscious. It's the things that you believe are keeping you chained and trapped, where you can't move forward. And I get this image of like Dr. Evil from the Austin Powers series, which in that series, Dr. Evil's the villain, of course, and Austin Powers, the international man of mystery. He's the spy. It's like like a 007 James Bond kind of, but it's a comedy. And of course, Austin Powers always gets caught by Dr. Evil, and he's tied up, about to face certain death. And so Dr. Evil just spills the whole plan to him, and Austin Powers escapes and foils the plan. And so, that energy that comes with this is that, the shadow is telling you those things in not a subtle way. They're very blunt, and it's very obvious, the lessons and the information that they're bringing to us. It's very much in our face, but then they wink at us and go, this is what's keeping you trapped and feeling, blinded and bound. Wink, wink. Like, this is what you can look at to free yourself. And so with this combination, it's very clear that during this month, it is you reflecting on this weave, the web that has been woven, and you're seeing what you of your web that has been keeping you trapped and what you're ready to release. So I really feel that's the big transformation that's happening here. We, of course, are going to dig in deeper here with the minor arcana. And the 4 suits of the minor arcana basically represent 4 different aspects of your human experience. So we're going to start off with the suit of wands, which is the fire element, which is, of course, your energy. And it represents your drive, your ambition, your aha inspiration, your passion. It can represent your energy and like your spiritual energy too. So this will be what the creator wants you to know about your energetic adventure during the month of May in regards to this weave of the web. So for our Leos, what would you like them to know about their energetic? Okay, very good. Yep, and you have the 9 of Wands. And this is great because, the 9s represent, like in the major arcana, the 9 is the hermit. And the hermit is all about they're taking this time to themselves, and they go internal, and they find the wisdom, and they find the path. And so this is about going internal, which is exactly what you're doing here with this reflection, understanding the energies that you're having. Because here's your Ace of Wands that you have here, which is actually, you have in your hand. See, he has it in his little hand here. This is in your hand, and that's what's blocking you from going through into the next place. And so this very much is understanding the energies that you have that are blocking your way. And so this is definitely what we're reflecting on here. We'll see what else they want you to know through these energy oracle cards, and to see what else about this energy that's blocking you. What do they want you to know? So what energy is making you feel this restricted and kind of tied to that pole? Okay, so for our Leos, what do you want them to know about this energy? Okay, we want that one right there. And you have the goddess of the moon. And this is great too. And because the moon energy is about diving into the subconscious, diving into the unknown, diving into those places that are, like we were talking about with our little tour guide knows what's going on under the surface and behind the scenes. The moon energy is what takes us there. It takes us into the dream world, into the unconscious. So be aware of your dreams that you've been having, and if you can maybe have like a dream journal or just something to jot down, or if you wake up in the middle of the night, just type it quickly into your phone so you remember your dream. And then when you wake up, even just Googling, what does tornadoes in my dream mean? And I know for me, whenever I'm feeling out of control and I dream of a tornado, it never fails. Like when I'm in extreme places where I just feel like I have so much going on, I feel organized, disorganized and all that, I'll have a tornado appear in my dream and I'll be like, okay, I need to declutter. I just need to get everything written down. And then my mind will have me stop dreaming about tornadoes because it knows it doesn't have to loop, literally, the twister. It doesn't need to loop all these things in circles because I'm writing them down. So it's that kind of thing that you can pay attention to there. And let me see what else comes with this energy from the book here. Yep, so it's intuition and going within. So exactly as we've been talking about. So this card shows it in eternal spirit, holding the bright reflective moon and standing in front of the crystal clear waters of a sparkling waterfall. Her arms are stretched upward, receiving the light of the moon, the light of inspiration. So this card is all about intuition and the ability to receive insights from your soul's point of view. Receiving the card upright tells you that you have the power to get intuitive information on all types of issues, and now's the time to use it. The goddess of the moon brings you all sorts of information, from the mundane to the spectacular. For instance, you could get the urge to take a different route home from work and find out later that you avoided a 3-hour traffic jam. Or you might have an idea for a great invention, a stock investment, or a spellbinding novel. This card could also indicate a significant blossoming of psychic ability and mediumship, even on a professional level. You are always blessed with this ability to connect, but this card is telling you that now is the perfect time to open up. Get ready for the amazing inspiration this brings. So yeah, definitely this is the month to do it. You always have access to it, but this is the month to really access it. And they want me to mention there's this beautiful process, and again, I forget where it came from, but it's they talk about how to delve into your subconscious. And basically what you do is you do like the little squares where there's 4 squares. And in the first square, you put I desire such and such because, and then I fear such and such because. And then on the bottom, you do the opposite. Instead of I desire such and such, I don't desire such and such because, and I fear not desiring that because. So it'd be like, a great example is like success. Like, I desire to be successful because blah, 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 blah. I fear being successful because of blah, blah, blah. I desire not to be successful because blah, blah, blah. I fear not being successful because of blah, blah, blah. And it's amazing because usually 2 of those I'm conscious of, and I understand why I desire success and why I fear failure. But then why I fear success and why I desire failure, those are like subconscious things. And what's great is that, I love this part of it, you don't have to do any work around it. It's just the whole process is bringing stuff from the unconscious into the conscious. And just that alone takes care of so much stuff. So if you feel that resonates with you, you want to use that for whatever situation you're looking at, free of charge, enjoy. So where this is like your spiritual side, and we're going to get into the mind and the emotions, those things are all inner. But the next suit we're going into is the only one that deals with the outer world, which is the pentacles or the earth element. And so this is all those beings that are, and those characters that are on stage with you, all the props, everything in the physical world, including your physical body. And this is just what the Creator wants you to know about your physical adventure during May regarding this, becoming aware of the web that has been weaved and the clarification with your communication. So, okay, they do want this one, and they do want that one too. So you get 2 for this stack. And yeah, you have the Knave of Pentacles, which is the Page of Pentacles. And this represents new opportunities coming your way, and also messages coming in the outside world. So definitely with this journey that you're going on here, you are becoming aware of opportunities where you didn't see them before, which I really like that, because this basically means that with this reflection that you're doing on your past and the web and your life that you've created, you're ready to do something new. You're ready to let go. So I really feel like for a majority of you, it's really you're cutting away pieces out of the web and restructuring it like it talked about. You're repairing pieces of it that feel weak and won't support and endure the storms like it talked about. So you're ready for this new opportunities and these changes that come because of the cutting away of those pieces of the web that no longer serve you. Yeah, because you have the 3 of Pentacles here. So you are ready to create something new. 3s are all about creativity, and so you're ready to express yourself authentically into the outside world. This is really a big message of authenticity. And what I love about the 3 of Pentacles, there's a story that Spirit told me about it, which is not normally like the standard meaning, but hey, I listen to Spirit and I love the message anyway, because there's 2 individuals here. You have, in this one, they have like, it looks like maybe, let's say this is a fox and this is an owl. And the fox here, this is the one that's kind of the tricky one, the one that tries to manipulate you, and the kind of the bubble burster and the dream taker, the one that's going, why are you doing that? You're not doing it right. Well, you're never going to succeed at that. You shouldn't do this. This isn't going to bring you any money. You should go do something else. You should do this, blah, 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 blah. Right? And so the naysayers is like, Colin, we know what to do with those. We put those outside of our circle and go, okay, you can leave now. But this little owl here, the wise one, they're the supporter. They're going like, wow, I'm so proud of what you're doing and the steps that you're taking, and you're going to be so successful at this, and I can just see you going a long way with it. And then they add on, but have you ever thought of doing it this way? And they're just out of their wisdom, you know, the little wise owls, they want to share their ways of doing things, and they don't mean to be manipulative or influence on us in any way, usually, because they're our supporter, but because we fear that if we don't take the advice of the owl, that they'll move into the naysayer camp with the little fox, right? And so that individual, the supporter, is more apt to take us off of our authentic path and have us waver. And so this is like this message about really focus on being your authentic self and expressing yourself in that very creative way, like Charlotte did in her little webs. She created such a beautiful web because she did what she wanted to do, not what everyone else wanted her to do. And so that's what this is telling you too. Don't look to the outside validation to control. Don't let the fears of letting people down or what people will say about what you're doing, and follow your authentic path, because this new opportunity is coming in. It's beautiful for you. We're also going to pull from the Oracle of E for more information here. See what else the Creator wants you to know about your physical adventure during the month of May. All right, so what else for our Leos, please? What else would you like them to know? Okay, you get 2 for this one too. So your first one is the magnanimous me. 7 plus 2 is 9. It's like your 9 of Wands here. And then you also have the hotline, number 12. So we'll put these here. And let's see, these are short messages, and I opened up right to the magnanimous me. This says, this is the time for your true nature to bloom like a crocus in the spring. You are nothing but a big ball of love, and the only thing you really want is to love up on everyone. So this is a good time to get in touch with that higher truth and free your generous spirit. Kindness, anyone? So that's so perfect, because that's exactly what we've been talking about here, right? So you get that. And then we have card number 12, which 2 + 1 is 3. So we've got this 3s and 9s going on. And the hotline says, isn't it nice to know that you don't have to do everything yourself? To know that there are unseen forces just waiting for you to give the word. Take a deep breath and know that whatever it is you need right now, guides and angels are lined up at your service, waiting to take your call. All you need to do is ask. Yep, it's that simple. Yes, definitely. The spirit world honors our free will and our power of choice, and they will not dishonor it by doing things that are against our will. And so we have already agreed before we came down here, there's things that they're going to help bring into our path, our fated events that we wanted to experience. And so they don't mess, they'll do that work, and they won't mess with anything else unless we, of our own free will and our power of choice, ask them to come meddle in my life today. Bring me answers, bring me this. And as long as it doesn't interfere with our fated events, they are more than happy to bring those messages to us, bring those synchronicities, these messages in the outside world. So this Page of Pentacles here with this hotline does represent 2 here about being aware, watch for all those signs and synchronicities, which does sometimes require us to step out of our chaos and all that fear and all our distraction and take some deep breaths and really just intentionally keep our eyes peeled for bumper stickers and license plates and signs on the road, conversations you're overhearing, a junk email with a subject line that is your answer, and different things like that. So just really pay attention to those synchronicities during May as well, and ask for their assistance, and they're more than happy to bring that. Next, we're going to move into the air element, which is the sword suit. This is about the mind. So it's all your thoughts and your beliefs and your mindsets and your attitudes and your expectations. So this will be what the Creator wants you to know about your mental adventure as the spider person, right? So for our Leos, what would you like them to know? Okay. About their mental adventure. And you have the 7 of Swords. So the 7 of Swords, they usually say it's like the fox, it's the, deceiver that's coming into your life and blah, blah, blah. But for me, it's really, because this is all about your thoughts and your beliefs and your mindsets. These are those mindsets that are deceiving you, which makes sense with what we were talking about here too, because, that's basically what the devil, the shadow card, is bringing to, is it's allowing you to see these thoughts and these beliefs, those that are deceiving you. So when it was talking about seeking truth and finding those higher things, this is basically reinforcing that this is a time for that. I'd also pay attention during the month of May for all the new moon cycles and see what energies those bring for you as well. And we're going to get some more clarity on this. We have actually the clarity deck, which I love the group that has these. It's called Girls Gone Happy, are the publishers of these. So regardless of how you identify, today we are all honorary Girls Gone Happy. So let me just give you a little shuffle here. Okay, well there's one right already. All right, so what else? Anything else for our Leos? Okay, there we go. So you have the future, and then the topic card is family. So definitely there are these thoughts and these beliefs here around family and around the future. These are the areas where you could have this clarification. Your beliefs about what the future is supposed to be and should be and need to be. And sometimes we'll get so pulled into the future that we decide that I can only be happy and fulfilled and, satisfied with life when. And that will never happen because there's always going to be something else that's added on and will never feel fulfilled. But I love the phrase too of be happy for no reason at all, and then no one can take that away. And you can be happy in this moment. You don't have to wait for such and such and such in the future. There's also beliefs about what family is and who family should be. And a lot of this communication and clarity come around your belief in family as well, like where you fit into the family, how big of a family that you should have yourself, and also that, if you were not chosen by your family, where you don't have a close relationship with them, this is about the family that you choose to have around you too. There's blood family, and then there's the chosen family, so your friends and those individuals that you surround yourself with. So there's a lot of clarity that's coming in around this web that we've woven, right, during that for that too. Which brings us to the final suit here, which is the cups. And that is the water element, and it represents our emotions. So this is going to be what emotional adventure the Creator would like you to know around this beautiful communication, this clarity that's coming around your life. Because the more clarity you have around what life you truly want, then you get to express that more clearly. Because right now, it's like up to this point, it almost feels like it's like one of the cards mentioned, almost like flying by the seat of your pants. You just kind of, you weave the web because you're just like, whatever was happening, and it was just kind of like, okay, I'll put it here and then here. But now it's like you get to choose and design the web you want, and then you make it happen. And there's this change. It's like, I don't know why they had this thing that came to my mind. It goes, those that don't know what they want to do with their life end up in retail or the military, or customer service in the military, which is funny because I ended up in customer service. My brother ended up in the military, and it is like, well, we don't know. We just it's like, well, I'm going to go do this for now. And then for now it ends up being, 40 years later, and you've made it your career when you really didn't choose that. And so it's like this change is, instead of just going with the flow of, oh, okay, it's like you are purposely choosing to look at why, like the web that you've weaved, and then the changes you want to make to that, because now you want to consciously make the choice. Yeah. Because here's the Four of Cups. Fours are about stability, so this is about you obtaining emotional stability. Here are the three cups of the outside world, those things that have not fulfilled us, that are kind of spawning this for us, right? And so one of them is relationships, one of them is situations and circumstances, like your job, your education, your social status, whatever. And the other is your physical world, like your physical things, like your possessions, your bank account, and your physical body. Those things that were supposed to fulfill us didn't. You see how they're empty, and you see how they're kind of just sitting over there, bored and unfulfilled with these things. And so it's almost like in this one, I love it because it's almost like the little bunnies meditating and trying to find out what it truly wants, right? It's turning inward, like we were talking about in your spiritual side. And then here from the universe, you see the hand of the Creator of the spirit world bringing you the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is what really brings you fulfillment, because that's what you're truly searching for. It's full of the living waters. It's the unconditional love essence of our Creator of all things. And so it's that love that we find from within, that brings us the fulfillment, that brings us the stability I talked about there. Yeah, because here's the 5 of chalices. And the 5 is all about this transformation. And you can see here too in the 7 of swords, he's holding the 5 of swords, and here's the 2 of swords here. It's because he's carrying his old ways of thinking here, but there is this movement into understanding. There's 2 places that thoughts come from. And the same thing with the 5 of chalices here. Here's those 3 cups that we talked about here. They're spilled. And the 5, number 5 is really about like a transformation of perspective, the ways of looking at things. And it's important for the rabbit to look at these 3 cups that were spilled and that have been disappointed. And we come here to experience that disappointment. So there's no judgment in that. In fact, it's important for us to experience those because that's what brings us the contrast of the 2 cups that are remaining. So like there's 2 swords here, which shows you there's 2 places our thoughts come from. There's 2 places our emotions come from. One of those swords and cups is of the physical world, of the human experience, rooted in fight or flight, rooted in fear, the conditional world of love. And the other is the Ace of Cups, like we talked about. And the other one would be the Ace of Swords. And those are the things that connect us to the higher, capital T truths of the higher world and the higher love that we've been looking for. So there is this beautiful transformation of thought and emotion that happens with this internal search and this reflection of the past web that has been weaved or woven. I know English a little bit. And then we're going to take a card here from the Spirit Junkie deck, and this is going to be the last of the big decks that we choose from. We're just going to still pull at least one more card from that. But since this is the last big card, it can also be around this emotional adventure. But since it's the last big card, we're also going to allow it to be a wild card, whatever else the creator wants you to know about the month of May. Some sort of thing about, the something web we weave when we blah blah to deceive. And so I don't know why that just came out here, but there you go. If that resonates with you for some reason, then you can have that. So for our Leos, what's your final message here? Okay. So this is the card here. And you've got, there is no such thing as a mistake. Everything happens in divine order. I am being guided to learn and grow. And that is perfect for this, because that's exactly what I was, trying to say in so many words with the 3 of Cups. We came here to experience the disappointment in the 3 of Cups, feeling deceived. So the web that we have weaved, for which we thought we were deceived, was on purpose for a purpose. And because we come here as these higher beings and take on these character roles as these humans, unaware, first of all, of just how powerful and eternal and our supernatural being is that's made of unconditional love. We come here veiled from that so we can experience our opposite to more fully understand who we are. Because when we experience like fear, we understand, what unfear feels like. When we, have this experience depression and sadness, we understand more fully what the joy is on the other side, the conditional love, the unconditional love. So no mistakes. It all happened on purpose for a purpose. So the web that you look back on was perfectly made, but now you're ready for this reflection and the changes that you're ready to make. And for your final card, we're going to pull from the heart affirmations and to see what the final message is that the Creator has for all you Leos for the month of May for this reading. Okay, they want that one. Any others? Okay, and that one. So your first one is, I accept I cannot save everyone. I choose to help those who are open to assistance. Yeah, definitely. I feel like this has to do with how you're sharing love with the world, how you want to help the world, what, that dream that you have. At the core of it, there is this place of service at your heart for that. But it's like this letting go of those that don't want to be saved, that you can't change anyone, save everyone. And it really comes down to being your authentic self, and expressing yourself is the greatest gift that you can give the world. You're not responsible for how everyone's going to react or respond to you. It's like the sun does not refuse to shine based on the opinion of others. The sun just shines. And that's amazing, because Leos, you are ruled by the sun. So be the sun and shine bright and be yourself. And then I anchor the boundless light in my heart. I am divine. So again, it's like, here's the sun, right? You definitely have this brightness within you that you came here on purpose to express that of who you are and to experience what you came to experience. So shine bright, Leo, shine bright. I love it. Right, well, I'm going to leave the reading there. They don't have anything else they want to say. But if you are looking for additional messages of love from above, in addition to these monthly readings, I also put out weekly energy updates for each of the elements, like fire signs, water signs, etc., and a few other types of videos. So if you don't want to miss out on those messages, if you give this video a little thumbs up and click this like button, then also click the subscribe button. That gives you access to this notification bell. And if you click the all option when you go in there, then you'll be notified of any new videos that come out on this channel. Also, doing those things helps spread the love, because when you like a video, you share a video, you comment on a video, or you subscribe to a channel, it makes the YouTube algorithm so excited it wants to share the videos of that channel with other people as well. So if you feel inspired to do any of those things, I am grateful for that. Also, these are general readings, and if you're looking for even more specific answers or details for your specific life, I do offer personal readings, and all that information is in the description box below. All right, all you Leos, you bright, sunshiny beings of light, just know as you go throughout each and every second of every day of your life that you are unconditionally loved by the Creator of all things, and of course, I love you too. Have an amazing month. I'm sure I'll be talking to you very soon, though. And until then, you hang in there and you take care.